Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode under our Udan initiative, where we bring experts from cutting-edge domains to guide and inspire young life science students across India and abroad. Today, I'm honored to welcome Dr. Renitta Jobby ma'am, Associate Professor at MIT Institute of Biotechnology. She's also the head of the MIT Center for Excellence in Astrobiology. Now, with nearly 19 years of experience across teaching, research, and industry, Dr. Renita has worked extensively on extremophiles, gut microbiome, probiotics, and space biology. Now, she has led India's first biological payload in space, has conducted Mars analog missions in Ladakh, and currently oversees pioneering work in astrobiology and microbial diversity. Now, we are excited to have her today to share her journey and inspire young minds looking to explore the frontiers of life science and space. I'm really honored to have you on board, ma'am. Thank you so much for finding time to talk to students.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here, Dr. Neelam.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll start the session right away because I understand that you have other engagements as well. So starting with your academic journey, ma'am. So could you please tell us that how your academic journey started and how you got interested in such a different field, astrobiology and space biology?
Okay, yeah. Beginning with my academic journey, basically I am a microbiologist. I have done my BSc and MSc in microbiology from GN Khalsa College and Institute of Science. So that was a very common field, which is everyone knows about. Post which I joined as a lecturer, worked in a few colleges, and then I got an opportunity for doing my PhD. So basically, I can say one thing is that whenever I have got an opportunity, I have seen to it that I grab that opportunity. So that has been what has been so far. So after my PhD, I joined Amity University as an assistant professor, and till then I was not at all aware of what astrobiology is basically. So after that, in 2019, we had our Center of Excellence, which was established in astrobiology. And that time we got an opportunity to join in for a few projects. So till that time also I was very naive and unaware of, what astrobiology. The term also was very much new to me. Then when we were introduced to the center, I Googled and I understood, okay, it is something to do with life and so I was wondering how I'm going to connect myself to this. But then the first opportunity that we got was a payload opportunity that was there in that time's PSLV mission. Again, no idea of what payload and everything is, but then we went for a workshop. It was through a company called as Satellites or something. And then we got an idea of, what a payload basically means. So we started with our initial developments. However, it didn't run through because ISRO had discontinued that particular mission that was there.
Yes.
Post which we had so that was my first project towards astrobiology, I can say, and towards space biology. No, I can say towards space biology. Post which we had the Ladakh field visit, which was in 2021. That time I got introduced to what analog sites mean, how analog sites are important in the field of astrobiology. And then we had collected a few samples from Ladakh, and that's where I began my work related to extremophiles, and that's how I got introduced to astrobiology. So
wow.
Yes,
That's really exciting, ma'am. I mean, having not known this field in UG and PG, and suddenly you get start exploring a new field and doing so much so exciting things is really a fantastic job on your part.
Yes, and in fact, I remember we had many students who were there, and those students knew much more than we were very naive into field. So we would ask the students, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? Okay, so they would be like, yes, okay, this is that, this is how you look into it, ma'am. So we had a lot of learning opportunities from many people that died.
Ma'am, students would also want to know that because many of us or many of the students who would be listening to you would not know what astrobiology is, and it would still be a new term for many of us. So could you explain it? What is actually astrobiology and why is it such an exciting field now?
Okay. The term, if you Google it and see, the term basically means study of life.
Mhm.
So, life not just on Earth, but all throughout, wherein throughout the universe, basically. Now, since it has got the term biology in it, many may think that it is limited to only biology or biology students, but that is not a case. It's a completely interdisciplinary field. So when we are talking about, searching for life or understanding life, it requires an integration of biology, physics, planetary sciences, astronomy, geology. So all this understanding is required to understand how life began on Earth, and why life began on Earth, when life began on Earth, and basically since our understanding of life is limited only to Earth conditions, so basically taking this understanding and exploring how this understanding will help us find whether or not life exists anywhere else in the world. So it's like not just about, alien searches as we see in movies and all, but it's about exploring what the limits of life are. So presently, if we are talking about Earth, in Earth also, like on Earth also, there are several unexplored places which have extreme conditions. So we yet do not know if life exists there, and even if life is existing, how do we explore that life over there? So today we have many missions from NASA, ISRO, ESA, very many private space agencies also, which are involved in sending missions to explore life in exoplanets and other planets. So basically, this is what astrobiology means.
So
At
all in
my
all, yeah, all in all, I mean, different domains of students can get interested into this field, and it has something for every one of us, right?
Yes, different domains. That is the best part of this
Yeah.
field. If I can say, it's not like, if I am a biology student, doesn't mean that, I can do everything. It's
Yeah.
impossible. For you to do something, you cannot just go and, explore the things from Mars. You
Yes.
need engineers to build the spaceship. You
Yes.
need many, you can say, geologists to
Yes.
understand what is the geology, where you are supposed to collect the samples. So all this understanding is required. It's not possible for one person to do it alone.
Okay, ma'am, connecting with what you just explained about astrobiology, I would also like to ask you that recently we all know that Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla made headlines by visiting International Space Station and performing science experiments over there. What is your opinion about this? Like, what does it have in the girth of future for India's future in astrobiology, and how it will impact students interested in this field? And does it have something to do with what you are currently doing in your laboratory?
Okay, so first of all, it was great to see an Indian who has been nominated for this particular Axiom 4 mission. And one thing that we can see from this is that it gives an opportunity to understand that, any Indian. So if you look at Subhanshu Shukla's journey also, he's from a very small town place in Lucknow. So any Indian who has the right mindset, the who is curious, who is committed, will have an opportunity to explore this field. Okay, so it is not limited to only a few scientists who are from very good research institutes in India or abroad. It can be any one of us who can be there at that particular place if we explore the correct opportunities at the correct time. And the missions that he did over there was definitely something to do with the future missions that India also has in plan, like the Gaganyaan mission, that is the recent mission that is going to come up, wherein we want to understand, now it's not just about, only engineers in space. It's about understanding how life in different forms. So they had sent some seed samples also with it. They had set some cell lines also in it, some human cell lines also in it. So it will help us understand how, again, life will be, behave outside. What are the space environments that is going to affect it? Because on Earth, though we have several setups, it's very difficult to, replicate space conditions. It's actually not possible. It can be done only by sending the mission and getting it back. If it's a returnable kind of a mission, only then we can get an idea of, all those things. So it definitely opens up an opportunity for all of us, be it any research institute, to start, to begin with this particular set of research domain in your institutes, to understand, what are the different conditions that may affect the human health, the plant health, anything on space. And once we have an expertise in this kind of things, we will definitely get opportunities in Indian missions also. We will get opportunities in international missions also. So we just have to lay a foundation of our own research domain.
Correct, ma'am. Correct. That is absolutely right. So coming to your work, I mean, being first in anything is quite challenging and it is difficult. Now you have led India's first biological payload in space, that is APEMS, aboard ISRO's PSLV. Now, could you tell us more about what that project was and how challenging it was? Students would love to hear your journey about that.
Okay. First of all, it's not I who has led this particular work of EPIMS. So it was a team of 9 members, and it was led by our Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor A.W. Santosh Kumar. So he was the team lead, and we were members in the team with different, working handles. Like we had different work associated with that we were associated with. So basically, this particular work, the particular project that was there, that was to understand how microgravity, since it was a non-returnable mission. So we have 2 types of missions, returnable, non-returnable. So since it was a non-returnable mission, it was designed in such a way that we get to know at least a basic idea of, how the plant behaves. So basically what we had sent was a plant callus sample. So just like you grow microorganisms, microbial cells in the lab, you can also grow plant cells in the lab. So it does not have to be in a proper stem or a leaf pattern. It can be a small round callus kind of a thing. So there's a process in which you develop that callus, and it's pretty sturdy. So since it was a non-returnable mission, and since it had a lag time of 9 days, means before it is launched, so you have to pack your samples um, at least 9 days prior, at least 1 week prior, because that's a time frame that they give. So even if you remember during the during Subhanshu Shukla's mission also, there were some issues associated with the biological samples. So they had to again go
Reschedule the meetings.
Yes, yes. Because of the reschedule, there were some issues. So this is what happens specifically with biological samples, because samples are very time sensitive. So since we had a lag time of 9 days, we had to think of something wherein, which will be able to sustain those 9 days. So that's how we came up with the idea of callus, because callus can sustain 1 week on the same media and it will not overgrow or something. Because if you put a seed or something, then you have to, water it and it may overgrow. So we do not know. So we had certain limitations also, certain technical limitations also, because of which we came up with this idea of callus. So we had a ground setup at our center, and we had this particular payload which was launched on board onto the PSLV's platform. And it was basically to understand how these cells will grow on the space considering the microgravity conditions. So the only thing that we could do was capture the image, and we had put certain sensors in it, pressure, humidity, carbon dioxide sensor, to monitor what the effect is, and we had LED lights which were given for it to undergo photosynthesis. So we had some good results, promising results from that particular mission. But basically this, since it was our first payload, so it gave an idea of, what all are the requirements of payload, what all are the tests that it requires, how sturdy it should be. When you are considering certain components, like if you're considering using some plastic, you cannot just use any random plastic. It has to sustain that temperature, pressure. So we got an idea that, okay, our sensors were working well, our plant is also growing well. So those kind of ideas which worked like a proof of concept, which we could prove ourselves also, like our team was also interdisciplinary. So we got an idea of, yes, now we can build something more better, and something more which would give us pretty more much of knowledge onto this. So that was it with our
I really would like to know that, because we all know that the space conditions are pretty harsh. You said that you had sent some plants over there or callus culture over there. So was the growth as per your requirement, or as per you were thinking about it, or are you still connected with that project? Is the signal still coming to you that what is the growth, or is the project ended?
No, it is a 21-day, it was a 21-day program. So we had 21 days time wherein we were getting the data and everything. We are still, we have got some promising results. We are still processing the results. So I cannot really reveal much more onto this.
Yes, I
But
understand.
yes, this will definitely help us into our future payloads also.
Sure, ma'am. So, ma'am, you said that you are working at MIT and you would definitely have a research facility in working in specifically astrobiology. So I would want to ask you that could you share more about the ongoing research that is happening at MIT Center for Excellence in Astrobiology, and specifically in your lab, since you are working on extremophiles and mass analogs and that. Could you explain that, please?
Okay. So basically, the Mars analog work or the Mars analog mission that we do, we have done it since the past 3 times. So that's how we began with the extremophile work, as I said. So when we got the samples from Ladakh, we began with our search for extremophiles from those soil sample, which is considered as analogous to the site of Mars. So analogous basically means similar.
Yeah.
It may not be exactly the same, but yes, definitely there are several conditions that are similar to it, and it's an extreme environment. So we consider that Mars was once hypersaline. So there are several hypersaline lakes in Sokar also, from which we have isolated several samples. So these samples that we have isolated are basically microbial samples. So they are, since they are extremophiles, they will definitely give us an information of, what is their chemical nature. Why is it that these organisms have extreme tolerance to salt, high temperature, etc. Specifically, the ones that we have isolated are polyextremophiles. So it will give us a understanding of, how much can a life survive on Earth, and whether, from this can we find out, certain, say for example, chemicals or biomolecules which are important for its tolerance onto that conditions, and whether we can search for such biomolecules in our space missions also. Will it help? So this is something called as biosignatures, which we are trying to link it to. And whether these biomolecules are important such that it can be, are they produced by humans also when we are considering those conditions? So those are the things that we are trying to find out from the extremophilic work. Plus, we are also trying to build a repository, that is the AMREL, that is Amity Microbial Repository of extremophiles from Ladakh, so that this repository will be helpful for not just us but for everyone in India for their work. So though there are several things associated still with the repository, because it's not easy for everyone to go to Ladakh and get the samples.
Yes.
So that's how there are many plans that are going on to this work. So that is one work that we are involved in. Plus, apart from that, our center, as I said, it is interdisciplinary. So we have got scientists who are also working in areas of space medicine, to understand, whether the same type of medicines that we are taking on Earth will work for astronauts when they are going on to missions. So, and as well as there are scientists who are working on space weather, that is the identifying solar flares and how these solar flares affect the magnetospheres, and how, if we can predict those kind of things, if we can predict certain space weather conditions. So these are the different areas in which presently our group is focused on to.
Okay, ma'am, extremely exciting. I mean, working with people having so much diverse background is really top notch. So you have also worked on probiotics and gut-brain axis and metabolic adaptations. How do you link human health? I mean, for me, for someone sitting outside, they are two different domains. How do you link both of these? I mean, working in human health and working in astrobiology, how do you manage both of them? They are two different fields according to me, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So, as I said, when I began this field of astrobiology, I was working on probiotics prior to it. So, that time I had, when I was searching onto Google about astrobiology and everything, that time I had read something related to, Yakult goes to space.
Yes.
So Yakult is a probiotic drink wherein, people have tried to see how Yakult can be explored as a, space food. So when I started my work on probiotics also, again, it was in 2017. I think 17 or 16. So that time, again in India, the probiotic work had just begun. And basically, the main thing was that in India, most of the probiotics were not of Indian origin. So there were no indigenous probiotics available. Till now also, we depend on many international commercial places for getting the probiotics, because those are the ones which are well identified and started off with. So that was how I began my work on probiotics, and how I linked my work to astrobiology was that since I read this article on Yakult, I thought about something like probiotics for the Indian astronaut kind of a thing, because when we are considering a gut, okay, the gut is very diverse. It's full of diverse organisms, and when we are talking about a gut which is of a population from Maharashtra and a population of Gujarat, it will be very different, because the food habits are completely different. So just imagine how different would be the microbiome when we are considering international people.
International.
So then there are several researchers which had come up stating that, the microgravity and the radiations can have a lot of effect on the gut microbiome. And since it can have a lot of effect on the gut microbiome, it is something associated with, weakening of the immune system and several other associated aspects. So that's why people were trying to understand if probiotics can be given as a supplement, like it is given in India also. Nowadays, it's given very much after antibiotic, along with an antibiotic therapy. So since now we know a lot of gut microbiome and its association to human health, right from communicable diseases to non-communicable diseases to mental health also. So we have been associating. So that means probiotics, in which we have several other organisms associated with the gut biome, can definitely work as a precision therapy for the gut microbiota, and it can strengthen the immune responses also. So that's how once I started this work, both I have been trying to combine both of them and trying to work on this particular field, whether these probiotics can also, sustain the microgravity conditions, and whether it can be helpful as an indigenous supplements for.
Okay. I understood that, ma'am. So, in one of the questions earlier that I asked you, you told that diverse people from diverse field can apply to astrobiology. So that is very clear. So students who are interested in astrobiology, even if they do not belong to biology field, they can apply. So this is very clear from ma'am's message. Apart from that, I would want to ask you, ma'am, since you are the head at MET Center for Excellence, I would want to know that what are the internship and project opportunities at your center, and how can students avail those opportunities, and what are the pathways that exist for students to pursue astrobiology in both in India and abroad?
Okay, so presently we offer internship opportunities to only our in-house students at Amity. So it's not open to all platform. But then we are coming up with plans to, since we get in a lot of interest from students, mails from the students. So we are planning to see how we can work this out as an outreach opportunity also for students in terms of, small workshops or maybe 1 month internship, something like that. So we have plans going on for that. And as you asked the second question related to opportunities in India. So as you know, this is our center is the first to launch this particular master's program in India, and it is open to all science graduates. And so definitely the students who are going to do this particular astrobiology course will be the first cohort of astrobiologists from India with a proper degree. Though it doesn't mean that, you have to undergo this course to get into the field of astrobiology. Definitely not. You can be a graduate and a postgraduate and then connect to some fields related to astrobiology in India as well as abroad. So in abroad, internationally also there are several places which offer masters as well as PhD opportunities. And we too collaborate with international agencies because we have a lot of adjunct professors who are associated with us from several space agencies. And presently, as we know, there are many private agencies which are coming up, not just internationally, but in India also. We have around 40 startup, as I am aware, related to space itself, which is there in India. And as per our initiatives of, Make in India and startups that has been launched by the government, there are several opportunities wherein people who are interested in space science can get connected to. So it can be through a research institute, it can be through a startup also, because being an astrobiologist with a formal degree, it will help you because in our degree program itself, we give courses which will help you understand a little bit of geology, a little bit of, planetary sciences, microbiology, biochemistry. So you will get an idea of, when you are looking for any mission, what are the things that are needed to be looked into. Okay. So you still require different engineers and other physicists to be there along with you, but then you will be able to be a connect between them. Okay, to help them understand that, okay, this is a mission, this is something which requires this particular platform for identifying something. So we will have a requirement of a biologist, or we will have a requirement of a physicist or a chemist. So that is an advantage that you can get if you have a formal degree of astrobiology.
Okay, ma'am, I had recently seen an advertisement of MIT Institute for Excellence and having advertised that MSc in Astrobiology program. So what is the eligibility criteria in, I mean, BSc, any student having a BSc degree in mathematics or let us say biology can apply to that, or is there any specific requirement that you are looking up to? Apart from that, in MSc, there is a dissertation of 6 months or so. So will the dissertation, if someone wants to apply to this program, would the dissertation be in connection with some ISRO, or because I mean these all astrobiology things are related to agencies like ISRO and some other agencies which launch rockets or something like that. So do you have connections, or do you have collaborations with these agencies as well?
Okay, so firstly, our training, our program basically is offered to any graduates of science.
Okay.
So it can be mathematics, physics, anyone. The only thing, there is no requirement as such, but the only thing that we tell or we ask students during the interview is also that you should have interest in the particular field. So you should not just take up the course just because it is new and very fascinating and you love aliens and alien movies. You should have a proper understanding of what you are, getting into. You should have a hardcore interest. So most of our students that we presently have in our center have been interested in this field, and they are very well, because only when you are interested in this field you will like to explore more into this field. So it's a
Yes.
very growing field, especially in India. It is still growing. So there would be it requires time for you to establish yourself, because only this degree won't end up with a giving you a job or something like that. So if you are still unsure, it is better that you do short-term online courses, free courses that are available. Especially there is a course in Coursera called from Charles Coquel from the
Okay.
University of Edinburgh. He also has a book on astrobiology written. So anyone who is interested can first begin with that course, and then you can think of getting a formal degree in this field. But it is open to anyone, any science graduate. And the second thing, as I said, 1 month internship and all, we are offering for our in-house students, wherein we do collaborate with ISRO agencies. We have collaborations. We have our students who have gone to PRL. We have our students who have gone to IIG, IISc, VSCC. So all these places we are connected through. Uh, but these places also take students from outside also. Their call comes up, that time the students are can freely apply for this particular program. And as I said, we do plan to have some opportunities in the form of workshops or something like
Yes.
that coming up, so which we will put up soon.
Sure, ma'am. We would be waiting for it, and I'll definitely tell students about it, that they should be connected with you, and if any opportunity comes, they should apply definitely. Now, final question, ma'am, that most of the students ask me. I usually come across this question more often than not. What skills, technical or otherwise, would you advise UG or PG students to start building if they want to be ready for research in interdisciplinary area like yours?
Okay. So mm, not skills, I would say, because formally speaking, only a graduation is enough. However, I would advise them to have 3 C's in their life. That is curiosity, consistency, and commitment. These are the 3 things that is required for any interdisciplinary field, because when we are talking about any interdisciplinary field, sometimes it can get very overwhelming, because if it's an engineering student who is entering into the field of biology, it can be very overwhelming because there are several things that the person has to know and understand. So it will not just help that you just come sit for lectures. You should explore more. So you should be committed to, curious, committed, and consistent to explore more things associated with the field that you are interested, and especially if it is astrobiology, then definitely you cannot be, only in your own area, because it is, you have requirements from other field experts also. And mm, as I said, it is there are several resources that are freely available. So that is something like a skill that you can maybe develop. Like you can have upskill yourself by being aware of what this field is about. If it's astrobiology, what this field is about, how it began, what are the things that it explores. And definitely you should have the ability to network. And even if your it's not necessary that this field will be there in every college, but then definitely you can send emails to faculties or
Yes.
researchers who are there in India or international. And even if they do not reply to your email, you have to persistently send mails to them. So in the end, they will reply.
Correct.
Because it's not like, because I'm telling from my own example, it's not like, I don't want to reply, but I may read the mail, but at the same time, I may not get an opportunity to reply immediately to that mail. So
Understood.
then you have to send persistent mails. And many places may, they offer opportunities to work remotely also, wherein maybe on paper you may on paper the scientist will not be able to guide you, but definitely they will be able to help you out throughout your journey, give you certain concepts, give you certain understandings. So you can write to them expressing your interest. And if you get an opportunity to work on small projects also, then also it is better that you get take up the opportunity, not consider it as a small project or something. Even if you are a small part of something, it will be good. So as an interdisciplinary field, you need to be more adaptable, and you should have a cross domain thinking also. Okay, you
Yes.
cannot limit yourself to only your domain. So I guess that's it, that is needed.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing so much of time and talking to students. I definitely feel that whatever you have talked about astrobiology and related fields, that would definitely open up new avenues for students, and students would start thinking about such careers also, and would definitely help in developing good understanding about that. So I already have taken a lot of time, ma'am, of yours. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm really honored again. Thank you for the team, from the team of Samadhan Life Sciences. Have a good day, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here and giving me the opportunity also to, maybe guide students to this particular new field that is there, from the little experience that I have presently in this field. And thank you very much. If any students would like to, connect to me also, you all can directly connect to me through my email ID, which is available, and I will try to help you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.